Oh yeah, sexy biscuits. Nice.
Long boys blues, 1975. Using girls on the rise. Reviewing games late at night and sometimes friends. But Long boys blues, 1975.
Welcome to another ZX Spectrum versus Commodore 64 comparison video, as I like to call it, Playground Wars. In this video we're taking a look at Ikari Warriors on both said systems, released in the arcades by SNK in 1986 and their first big global hit. It was around about the time that there were a lot of Commando clones, so it did two things to kind of separate itself from the crowd. One, it had a rotational joystick, so you could fire in all directions while maintaining the same direction of actual physical movement. And the other thing was, it was simultaneous two-player. We take that for granted after this game, but at that time it was the first kind of Commando clone to do that. Obviously it was released on absolutely everything. Elite did release their own version of this on the Commodore 64 in late 1987, but before that it was done by Quicksilver. Did not know that, so I'll be playing the Elite version for fairness, you know, in comparison. I had this back in the day and I absolutely loved it, as did the magazines. Now, are you ready for something absolutely mind-blowing? You play two Marines, mercenaries, soldiers, Ralph and Clark. The most manly soldier names ever, I know. Apologies if you are actively serving and your name is Ralph and or Clark, but hey, I just call them as I see them. And you try to get to and liberate the village of Ikari Warriors. I never knew that. I thought you were literally like the clan Ikari. That was your creed or your breeding or your race, or you know, but no, it's a village and you go there to fight it. Along the way you can get in tanks, you know, in vehicles and stuff like that, and you can lob grenades. I'm guessing Elite released this to capitalize on the success of Commando, which was absolutely huge for them, absolutely huge. And this did get ports to pretty much everything anyway. And there's a sequel called Victory Road where you get whisked away into the future, I shit you not. And then at the end of it, you get whisked back to regular time for Ikari Warriors 3. I know, I'm not sure why they did that. Why don't they just do another one in the vein of this? I loved SNK's, let's get into it. Sort of top-down shooter stuff like Guerrilla Wars, where they use this rotary joystick. Was there a rotary joystick on the ZX Spectrum? I do not know. Anyway, here's the interesting thing. You have to define the keys, because both of you can play on keyboard at the same time, or one with joystick, because it is simultaneous two-player, which is really impressive on a ZX Spectrum. So one, define keys. I think you know what I'm going to go for. Up, down, left, right, fire, toggle. Keys are champions. Hold down fire to toss a grenade. I said toss. And Z toggle means you lock yourself. You can move freely, think commando, or you press Z to toggle, you lock yourself in a direction, allowing you to basically move like a very much traditional top-down shoot 'em up, you know, think like slap fight and stuff like that. I don't know why that game came to mind there, but yeah, there you go. Right, and then you define your keys for the second player, and then you get into it. Right, here we go. Start one player, start two player. If you're both playing on the keyboard at the same time, it can get a little bit cramped, somewhat awkward. Right, there we go. Let's go with one player. Right, side of the screen, you've got limited bullets, so don't go batshit crazy. You've got a lot more nades, which make that really satisfying commando noise, and look just like commando. And then you've got your lives underneath. Toggle. Lots of enemy, see? Got ya. Like I said, I think this is graphically nice. It plays to the Spectrum strength. Shit, you can see the bullets. Yeah, plays to the Spectrum strength, which, I mean, yeah, it's a form of attribute. Well, it is attribute. Oh! Clash. Awkward pauses in talking, but, you know, it gives us nice detailed sprites. It gives us a lot of sprites on the screen at once. Be interesting to see what the Commodore does with that in its department. That's really impressive. No slowdown. They have nades too. I'm not gonna lie, it is a tad challenging. Every time you die, your ammunition is replenished. Ooh, I faced the wrong way. I keep wanting to press Z to hit grenade. Why won't you die? Points to the quote. Gonna try a different approach. There we go. Nice, satisfying explosions. See, I've replenished. No one said they were the smartest blokes. Neither am I. I locked myself in the wrong direction. I replenished my ammunition by killing them. There'll be certain like boss characters as well, so you don't just have to blow shit up. That's a life. No, it's not. Then also you can collect fuel, which you will need if you're in a tank, because all the tanks make you invulnerable. For some reason they have a really limited amount of fuel. He's the boss bloke. The other guy looks just like you but doesn't have a shirt. But yeah, you have to get fuel, because much like real tanks, they just blow up when they hit empty. Just like my car. Right. This is, I mean, it'll be a lot easier with 2-player. You just want to keep doing the commando way. And by that I mean, not take your underwear off, but just fire wildly. Oh, they got rocket launchers up to the top of the screen, because enemy keep coming. But you can't, because then you run out of bullets. There is a certain level of strategy, which means you can go around the outside, blow up their buildings. Later on, there will be water. You'll see the enemy underneath it with a little bit of oxygen on the oxygen bubbles on the surface, giving away their position. But it's the face of Mars. No, it's not. It's a pillbox, and I'm dead. No one said it was easy. There was a demo on the front of a magazine back in the day, wasn't there? Which is where I played it first of all, and ultimately learned that I sucked at it there as well. Thank you. Got to press 1 to start again. Ooh, they don't mess around, do they? They just. I'm just gonna die a lot. Fuck. See, here's the problem. You do have to fire constantly. You have to fire constantly and look for the stuff that will replenish you. Look, they're stupid. No, they're not so stupid that they didn't kill me. Because otherwise, you just... It's a killing field. Give me that, give me that. See, there's fuel. See if I... Oh! I'm going the other way. See if I can get to a tank. See if I can just get somewhere. Look, they're behind me. It does work really, really well. Obviously, it's not going to be as useful as a toggle button like in the arcade. Yoink! But there at least their bullets have range, but obviously there weren't any on the Spectrum. But it's a workaround. It's not bad. I'm assuming the Commodore 64 version will work the same way. No, I'm running. Oh! Collision detection, thou name is fucker. Actually, it's not that bad, but he didn't hit me then. Right, let's try not to waste all my lives. Come on in, you're going to come down the left. In a caravan of slaughter. Satisfying. I'm assuming that you should shoot as many people as you can, because extra lives and stuff. It is actually really tight controls. He says, just getting shot. Use your invulnerability. Use your fake guns as clubs. Points to that quote. I am very impressed at the number of bad guys on the screen. Possibly I would have preferred less, so I can actually show you some of the game. Right, where is it? Rocket bloke's on the left soon. Just gonna get rid of this bloke. There we go. Don't worry, I got enough deaths for everyone. Shit. As they have for me. I think it's basically, it's balancing out toggling between both of them. They're both as effective as each other. And just keeping your yoink wits about you. Woo! There's a tank. Look, there's a tank. That's a mine underneath it. See what I mean? You can see my fuel pissing down on the bottom left. Climate Change Brigade will not be happy, but I'm in a fucking tank. What are you going to do about it? Right, there's a mine in the water. Oh, sorry, that's my cell phone. Mobile phone. I'm English. Oh, look, you can run them over. I have to say, I'm really, really impressed with this. It is tricky. Maybe I should fire more often. Maybe I should get a white stick. But yeah, look how many bad guys. And the fact that I'm in a tank. that seems to be quite economical. Is this, I can't remember, it's split into levels or it just keeps scrolling, which would be very impressive for a game of this type. Give me some fuel. How do I get out? Do I press toggle? You run. See, if I stay in, it will blow up. Look at them in the water. Oh, hang on. I'm just running. Oh, shitballs. Where am I? That works. Woo! Look, they've nicked my fashion tips now and they haven't got shirts on as well. This is awesome. This is even better than I remember. I mean, if you had this back in the day, on any of these versions, I know I normally say at the end, but I'd learn to talk. Quite like to know what you think, because I think this is awesome sauce. I remember if you got the demo, I forget which magazine it came on, it was incredibly short. Make it to the tank. I blew up the tank, even though there was petrol there waiting for me. Shit. Would I say this is better graphics than Commando? Well, it deals with it in a different way, doesn't it? So, I don't know, I'd say they're on par. The buildings are a little hit or miss with how you shoot them. Oh, look at the enemy flanking me behind cover and hey! Shitballs. Well, there you go. This is really, really impressive on the Spectrum. Let's have a guess at what it looks like on the Commodore 64. So here we go with Ikari Warriors on the Commodore 64 by Elite. We got a much better title screen there, as you would probably expect, but this is the Elite version, so let's get into this. Right. Immediately you can see it's got the intro from the arcade where your plane crashes. I don't think you even have the plane on the floor, which your two Ikari Warriors, or one, depending on how many friends you have at the time. I'm playing this on my Wii, not on my Commodore 64 Mini, because I want to be able to use the toggle function, but it gives you your infantry scores at the top of the screen. Again, instead of being the outside of the screen, you can see your heart, your lives, your ammunition and your grenades at the bottom of the screen. It's a wider screen, which you could argue is not as accurate to the arcade, but that's me splitting hairs. But we kind of knew it. We've got much better music. It's the SID chip. How close that is to the arcade, I don't know. I don't think I have a gameplay at the arcade, but it's got amazing, amazing music. Look, it's 1988, so it's 2 years after the Spectrum version. But yeah, let's get into it. Going to play it with one player only. I'm assuming that you're going to have no sound in the game and just music, so the Spectrum have music on the title screen, which was alright, but sound in the game. So let's get into it. Fire. There we go. Assuming I would press fire on player 2 if I want to do 2-player. There you go, there's your plane crash. I've got music, sound, sorry. Lock. That's cool. I mean, right, it's got colour. I prefer the screen to be more cramped because that's more accurate to the arcade. You can't really tell what your power-ups are. There we go, get some of that in your life. Yeah, this is immediately more impressive. I mean, the sprites, I mean, I suspect I'm going to come off against splitting hairs, but the sprites look way better on the Spectrum. Come on, they're just not coloured. Balls! There's a lot of them. It gives you 2 tanks immediately. If it was, you know, 2 of you here, there's a mine. The explosions and that are very reminiscent. There we go. Where's my fuel? Where's the bird this feather came from? Oh, they're just rocks. Oh, I can't see where the fuel is. Right off the bat, I can't see where the bullets are. Look at the tiny little helicopter. It's far easier to play on the Spectrum. It may be, you know, attribute-tastic, but you can see stuff. I don't like the fact that you cannot see the bullets on this. So when you're rammed with bad guys, you got no Scooby where shit is to avoid it. That's a bit poor. Now, I know I'm gonna, you know, draw criticism from Commodore boys when I say this, but I'm gonna say immediately I can tell you that this is easier, and not because there's not a lot of challenge or bad guys on the screen, to play on the Spectrum, because you can actually see shit. Your tank's fuel, mind? Jesus, what's it running on? Premium? Oh, mine. they just appear straight under you. I don't like that. This is too difficult to see where your death's coming from. My God, this is too difficult, period. I prefer the Spectrum for the fact that I can see where the bullets are coming from. It may not have as many colours, it may not have as nice music, but not being able to see shit like that is a tad broken. Makes for a very difficult and frustrating game. That said though, the controls are alright. It's difficult nature, I mean it's difficult because of the sheer number of stuff on the screen, is the inability to see the bullets. You're right there when it's brown. Welcome to Brown Town, point of the quote. And the mines, they appear straight in front of you. You've got a better chance with them in the Spectrum and in the arcade. What, no goodies? No goodies. It's the green that makes it incredibly... Look at that attack helicopter mine. Come on, seriously, I know there isn't one on the Spectrum. You couldn't do better than that, Commodore. I prefer yellow background. I know this is more accurate colour-wise to the arcade, but you know what? I'm giving this to the Spectrum so far. You've got more... I don't want a game to be necessarily easy for the sake of being easy, but its control is far more forgiving. Being able to see where your death's coming from is far more forgiving. The spawning of mines in this is just taking the absolute bloody piss. I hit you twice, building. Yeah, this... I mean, I played this a while back, but I gotta say, maybe I should try the Quicksilver one. I'm preferring the Spectrum version. I know Commodore kids will just say, oh, but it doesn't look as good and stuff like that. It's not necessarily how good it looks. It's about being a complete package. And by that, I mean a forgivable challenge, not one that's difficult because of inherent flaws, like the mine. See? I'm trying to look out, see where my fuel is. It wouldn't even let me fire. Run away from the attack helicopter! Last go. I'm calling this right now. Spectrum version better. More playable, more forgiving, because it's not cheap deaths, because there's a slight element of brokenness in the game. I mean, this is impressive, the number of sprites on the screen. The sprites are more, you know, better looking on the Spectrum, even if they do lack colour. Get out! Is there any... I got out though. Is there any real point to getting the tanks in this? Again, the tanks are useless in this. As you saw from my final run on the Spectrum, they are not on the Spectrum version. Calling this right now, Spectrum version is better than this. May not have the snazzy music, but it's playable. It's not broken. The colour scheme is not detrimental to seeing shit find your face. I call the Spectrum version. As always, I'd love to know what you think, and thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you later.